You know, we always think that the world's most successful people have some kind of secret, some magic formula. But what if it's not a secret at all? What if it's actually a playbook, just sitting there, waiting for someone like you to pick it up? Well, today, we're opening that playbook.
Okay, I want you to picture this. You walk into this huge, incredible library, but instead of your typical books, every single thing on the shelves is a specific key to success. We're talking the morning routine of a top CEO, the mindset of a champion athlete, the exact strategies of people who built empires from scratch.
Every book, every page is a lesson you can actually use. See, this isn't about some kind of untouchable genius. It's about a set of learnable skills, a playbook. So, the real question is, you ready to turn the page?
Awesome. Let's jump right in with the very first tool in our success toolbox. It's all about how you kick off your day. We're calling it the Momentum Engine. And for good reason, it's designed to get you going, and going strong.
The big idea here is intention. Seriously, almost every single high performer you can think of has some kind of morning routine. And look, this isn't about that crazy you must wake up at 4 a.m. hustle culture. It's simply about claiming the first part of your day for you before the rest of the world comes knocking.
And how you do it is almost laughably simple. First thing, do not, I repeat, do not check your phone. The second you do, you're immediately in a reactive mode, right? You're responding to everyone else's emergencies. Instead, just take 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes of quiet, maybe some stretching, maybe you write down a few thoughts. This tiny act flips the switch from reactive to proactive, and that sets the tone for your entire day.
And this analogy just nails it. A pilot would never just hop in the plane and hope for the best, right? Of course not. They run a pre-flight checklist to make sure everything is perfect for a smooth takeoff. Well, your morning routine, that's your pre-flight checklist for the day.
Okay, let's move on to our second tool. This one builds on that idea of daily action. We call it the Canyon Carver, and it's all about the absolutely mind-blowing power of being consistent. We tend to think that success comes from these huge, heroic, one-time efforts. But the real secret? The people at the top are obsessed with their systems, the small, tiny things they do every single day, not the giant, flashy goals. Those small habits are what build massive results over time.
Just look at the difference here. A big, vague goal like, I'll get fit. I mean, where do you even start? It's intimidating. But a small habit like, I'll do 5 push-ups a day, that's almost too easy not to do. Same with writing a book. The goal is massive. The system, writing just 1 paragraph a day, is totally manageable. And guess what? That gets you a book.
This is the mental image you have to hold on to. That 1 paragraph, that single push-up, it feels like nothing. It feels like a single drop of water. But you repeat that day in and day out. For years, you can carve a canyon. That, my friends, is the power of compounding effort. Okay, let's switch gears a little. We all have things we want to do, right? And we all have fears that get in the way. But what if we've been looking at fear completely wrong? What if instead of an obstacle, it was actually a strategy?
And that brings us to tool number 3, the fear compass. I love this one. It's not about being fearless. Nobody is. It's about using that feeling of fear as a navigational tool that points you exactly where you need to grow.
So this introduces us to the idea of fear setting. Instead of just setting goals for what you want, you get really clear and define what you're afraid might happen. The top performers do this all the time to get out ahead of that feeling of being stuck or paralyzed by what-ifs. And the actual practice is a really simple, free-step process. First, you ask, what's the absolute worst that could happen? You write it down. Just defining it takes away its power. Second, you ask, okay, if that happened, how could I recover? This builds confidence. And third, you ask, what can I do right now to prevent that worst-case scenario? And boom, now you have an action plan.
Honestly, think about it like this. Fear loves the dark. It loves the corners of your mind where things are vague and undefined. The second you drag it into the light, the second you write it down and look at it, you switch on the light, and you realize those monsters you imagined are a lot smaller than you thought.
All right, now for a tool that might feel a little counterintuitive, especially in our culture that glorifies the hustle. Tool number 4 is the archer's bow. And this is all about seeing rest not as a weakness, but as your greatest superpower.
Let me bust a myth for you. Top performers are not working 24/7. They're just not. What they are is masters of strategic recovery. And that word strategic is key. It's intentional. They prioritize sleep and downtime and mindfulness with the same intensity they bring to their work.
So, how do you actually do this? 2 simple things.
Number 1, start treating sleep like it's a non-negotiable meeting with your CEO, because it is. And number 2, literally schedule rest into your calendar. Don't treat it as an afterthought. When you put "go for a walk" on your calendar, you're giving it the same importance as any other meeting.
And this metaphor is everything. You can't just keep firing an arrow over and over again. To get real power, real distance, you have to pull the bowstring back. That period of tension, of pulling back, that is rest. It's what builds up the potential energy to launch you forward.
So, we've covered 4 incredibly powerful tools, but there's one final lesson here, and it might just be the most important one of all. It's actually the tool you use to learn all the others. And it's this: modeling success. The biggest secret is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The smartest and most successful people are masters at studying those who came before them. They find people they admire, they break down their habits and systems, and they basically copy them until those methods become second nature. So here it is, the entire toolbox in one shot. And what's really cool is how these tools all work together, right? You use the momentum engine to start the day strong, the canyon carver to make that small daily progress, the fear compass to handle any obstacles that pop up, and the archer's bow to recharge so you can do it all again tomorrow. It's a whole system. We have just unpacked the playbook of some of the world's highest achievers. But here's the honest truth. Knowing all this is completely useless without action. So the question isn't, what do they do? The real question is, what are you going to do? Which one of these tools will you put into practice this week? Seriously, let us know in the comments. Which tool are you going to try first? And hey, if you want more breakdowns just like this, make sure you subscribe.